a Christmas present repair, and wham, is #1 for Christmas. Yay! Let's crack on! Hello and welcome to another MrBetaByte video, and this one's a little bit different insofar as we are doing a really quick video insofar as it's Friday before Christmas Day when this video is coming out, I hope. We'll see, it might be Boxing Day, who knows. But yeah, so this machine is from Xavier, thank you very much, and it's a perfect Christmas machine, this, insofar as his first machine was a Sony C6 Mark I, and it's quite a story behind why he now has this C6. So I will tell the story as we go on. It's really cool, and yeah, I really hope you enjoy this. I think I pretty much know what's wrong with it, and I hope we can sort of fix it really quickly, give it a service, do the belts, and get this edited, uploaded, ready for Christmas. That'd be really great. Yay! So what I'll do is power it off first of all, and included were these two bits of metal, and if you know these machines you'll know exactly where these are from. These are actually the clamps for the front of the cabinet. The screws go through them, clamp the plastic, go into the metal. It just stops the plastic from getting cracked from over tightening, and it's actually a really good idea. So I think I will take the covers off, and we'll take a look. So covers off. I've also taken the two screws out to lift up the amp board, and it's not looking too terrible. The upper drum will certainly need resurfacing, so I'll do that. And rubbers are pretty good, but they will need, I mean, you can see there the belts are a little bit sloppy, and pinch roller is pretty shiny. I'm probably gonna have to resurface that, but that's fine. I don't have a replacement for that, so I suppose we ought to give it a try. Okay, so here goes. Putting the cassette in. Yeah, a bit dry there on the mechanism. Bearings seem okay. It's actually a very nice machine, to be fair. Picture wise, it's what you expect. No, I suppose it's almost what you hope for. That's gonna probably be just those blue caps, Sanyo caps. So yeah, we'll change those. But it's looking pretty good, and it's not going to be too much. So that's a still. So you can see the head drum is running at the wrong speed, and yeah, and to be fair, I don't think these caps are terrible. I've seen far worse from C6s, C5s, C9s, C9s, no, C7s. So yeah, that's actually not bad at all. Tracking is actually really good. Seems to keep, oh, this is actually a really good machine. yeah, so change those caps, and we should be somewhere near, to be fair. Obviously, it will need all the belts done. Idler tyres. I've got a kit, so I'll do that. Yeah, let's crack on. Okay, so let's get the screws out the bottom cover. Okay, so we need to look at servo, which is this side. Yes. Just had to think there for a minute. This time of year is really hard for me because it's super busy. It's lacking sun, and which doesn't suit me. And yeah, it's just crazy. It's crazy with work and it's crazy with everything. So yeah, and then I go and try and do a video in a couple of days and upload it. But hey, why not? Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll turn the machine round so we can actually see what we're doing. Yeah, so I haven't lost it yet. It's just the right panel. So it's this cap, this cap, this cap, this cap, this cap, this cap. Good dust out as well. We'll clean the tracking control off. Let's give it a good clean out. And this one, this one, this one. I think that's it. This is basically all of these light blue caps. We've done this before, but you know, you don't watch all my videos, I know. Which is absolutely cool. It is a journey after all, and yeah, just dip in and out as you need to. But yeah, so that's really cool. There's one there as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 caps. I think that's right. I seem to remember 10 as the magic number with these. So yeah, let's crack on. So I've given the machine a good dust out, got the old Dyson out, paintbrush, toothbrush, and a majority of the dust out. I've done the other panel as well, and had a quick look at the belts, which I'll share with you in the fullness of time. They're quite interesting, and also dusted the top a bit as well. Again, it's not 100%, but it's a heck of a lot better, and I'll just clean other bits as I find they need doing. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to change these caps, and I'm going to go to MrBetaByte commentary mode, and while I do this, I'll just read to you what Xavier sent me on where having one of these machines originally led in his career. It's actually really interesting and it's really nice. So yeah, let's crack on. So Xavier sent me an email detailing basically what a Sony C6 means to him, and obviously he had one back in the day, and he now has this one to sort of relive that first experience. So I'll just read his email. I just wanted to thank MrBetaByte and his channel for taking on the restoration of this Sony C6 machine, which I recently purchased from an online charity auction. The Sony C6 is a player that undoubtedly had a great impact on my life and career. As with many followers of this channel, I was a teenager during the video revolution of the 1980s, and domestic VCRs allowed us to watch a great range of films that we had never seen before. The video recorder was also a game changer for film buffs like myself, and being able to watch films on a regular basis also allowed me to start writing about the movies I had watched. I grew up in a single-parent household, so purchasing such a machine was a very big ask. As well as saving up my allowance, my mother and grandmother also regularly put money aside for over a year until we had banked up enough to purchase a Sony C6 Betamax from our local co-op store. As well as re-watching films that had previously enthralled me at the cinema, such as Jaws, I also remember the Texas Chainsaw Massacre on Betamax, which truly terrified me. We only had a black and white television at the time, which made the impact of the film even more dramatic, as it gave it a really unsettling drama documentary feel that has stayed with me until today. The impact of watching this film has led me to later pen my first film review, looking at the film's impact and imagery, and that was in 1992, when I was graduating from university. Since then, I have been fortunate enough to turn these early Betamax viewings into a career, not only as a film professor, but also as a director of the Cine XS Film Festival, which has been able to invite many of the directors whose work I first watched on the Sony C6 over to the UK. After all these years, the impact of that monochrome Betamax viewing of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre has never really left me, and I am currently completing a new documentary of images of the countryside in American cinema. So, as the Sony C6 restoration is meant as a Christmas present for my wife, I offer thanks to her, and also to all the mums and grands who do so much to support the dreams of the younger generation, even if they don't quite understand them. So it's just really cool, and what a great story. It's amazing how something so small, relatively in the grand scheme of things, can really just be so inspirational. And I mean, as someone who works in schools and works with IT and understands the difference that IT can make in the right situations to children's development, I can really see it. So thank you so much, Xavier, for sharing that with us. And I put a link to cinexs.co.uk into the description below, and no doubt I'll put a screenshot as well of the site. And I suppose we ought to crack on. So, all done. You might have noticed I changed this capacitor. I'm sure that this one is probably going to be fine. We'll test it. But I didn't like the way it was sort of leaning over and getting stressed. So I put a much smaller one, exactly the same value, but it's just a modern capacitor, and it will sit up and it will clear the plastic when it's closed. So just to tidy up, really. But it's slightly different from a different source, so the red, but they're all fine. It's the only difference. So yes, I suppose the next thing is to do the belts. Okay, so other side of this recently dusted machine is open. I did just check these caps, just changing the subject slightly, from the servo side. All of these had weird values, high, reading low, ESR, crazy ESR. These are the only two that are any good. So definitely you've got to change those caps. What I understand, Sanyo capacitors, this was bought out by Sony, from what I understand, around about the time these machines came out, and they're just bad. They're just not the greatest quality capacitors. They improved with as time went on, but these in particular, this generation, so early 80s, are very susceptible. But if I've got that wrong, let me know in the comments. But from what I understand, I've heard a few people mention this. So, I'm going along with, especially as these are poor, and I've seen later ones that are fine. I'm going along with that. So, yeah. So, I mean, it's amazing this still works, to be honest. that belt is so slack. And to be fair, I mean, it's not even moving the motor. It's the original belt as well. You can see the yellow marks, so that won't have been helping. This belt seems okay. Want to clean off the grease as well. Just give it a re-grease. I'll use some fairly thick silicone grease, to be honest, as it's metal against plastic in particular. So we'll get and do the bottom of the deck next. Okay, so let's change these belts. So, belt kit. Like I say, I do really highly rate these belts, to be fair. They tend to be very good. And some of the kits do actually have more belts than you need. I think it's that one for that. So and screw in there. So that belt is well and truly, I mean, it's still got quite a bit of stretch on it, but yeah, well and truly had it. Whoops, undid all my handy screwdriver work there. So the actual motor pulley is good, and yeah, there's no contamination there at all because the belt hasn't sort of gone gooky or anything, so technical term. Super, that's looking good. And then this belt, so you can see the difference there. That one has well and truly seen better days as well. And the capstan one, you can actually see where it's been resting. Again, there's no contamination there. Clean. Anyway. As I say, there's no contamination. It's actually putting off quite a bit. Oh, I forgot. There is another belt, isn't there? The fun one. I always forget about that belt, and then I take the one belt off and go, oh yeah, there's another one. And screw there. wrong screw that. So that's that smaller belt, which there are actually two in the kit, and there's two of those, and I think it's the slightly bigger one. Yeah. So let's continue just to clean this up. A bit of the silicone grease. So, small belt. And the screws actually go through little plastic standoffs, so they're fairly easy to sort of locate the whole thing and make sure that's right. It's looking good. And then make sure I did put on the right belt. Yeah, I did. I just realised I put both belts down side by side, which probably wasn't the brightest idea. I'll just give that a quick clean in there. One thing I was going to do actually before I close this up, I'm just going to clean the connectors. So yeah, there is a couple of tabs which will release the plastic shroud, and means I can just get to the actual connectors without the plastic being in the way, and I can give this a bit of an extra clean as well. So I'll get and do that. So I did actually put the old belt back on, which is really clever. So I've put the right belt on now, and then I nearly forgot to put the second belt back on, because obviously I've got to take that off to put the other one on, the motor to the pulley. But we're there, it's all done. Everything's polished as well, cleaned up the back, it's all lovely. Obviously I haven't put the bottom cover on yet because I know probably we're going to have to do some alignment. There was something rattling about, I think I mentioned at the beginning of the video. It was another one of these. So I was thinking I should have three. I do now have three. So I'm going to take the front cover off, take off the front loading system, and then we'll do the belts. I probably will take off that upper drum as well and just give that a resurface, and then we should be somewhere near. We can give it a test and see if we've actually got a fully functioning machine, or whether I'm going to have to spend some time just doing some fine tuning. But yeah, let's crack on. So front cover, so it just lifts off. It's pretty dusty, so that'll be cleaned in the fullness of time. And then take out the front loading system. this type of screw, captive washer. Little cable management clip, unplugged as well, which I nearly forgot all of that. And there we have it. So front loading system. I did actually start cleaning the grease off. There's quite a bit more to come off, so I'll get that done and give it a clean as well, make it all pretty. And there we have it. So what's interesting is I don't actually have, I've seen this before, you don't actually get the counter belt in the belt kit. You do get the tyre, so we'll get that changed. And this tyre, gosh, trying to remember how this all goes together. Now there is a tyre, which is what I like about these kits. You do actually get all the tyres, so there's the real one. That's a small belt for down there. And the idler tyres. But I do actually have, and you might remember from the other C6 that needs the heads done, I've got this brand new old stock Sony idlers, so I'm going to change that with one of these, because, well, why not? So just lift that off, pull this back. You've got the bearings there. There is actually a washer there as well, so don't lose that, because this is the height. This sets the height of the spool. If you lose one of those, your spool will not be at the right height, which is fairly obvious, I suppose. So let's get this tyre off and see how good this replacement is. Put that on there. So it looks a little bit thicker, maybe. No, it's about the same. So that's great. And what I will do as well is what I tend to like to do when I am working with this type of setup with the bearings like that. I will lubricate the bearings. That's it, that's on. So that's another one. These belts, they've all got like a sweat on. They're all like slightly sweating. Really bizarre. Okay, so let's clean this next, and then bearing, and actually feel really good. Keep it the same way. Super. That's it. So I've sort of cleaned this using silicone grease, light silicone grease. It does have creep, but it is fine. There's grease there as well, which need to be replaced. It's fine. So that should ensure we've got a nice just put just a tiny bit of silicone grease in there. A nice good free running take up spool. That's super. So idle tyre. Screwdriver's a bit big. Should be fine. So brand new, old stock. Rubber seems very good still, but we shall see. There we go. I was battling with that a bit. The magnetism of this was actually fighting against me. I will clean this and then put on the tyre from the kit, and then we've got another good wheel, because this does, it's just a bit of plastic at the end of the day, but I just thought, well, you know, so this idler actually isn't terrible. So let's see how this goes. Yeah, that fits actually really well. I think it's a little bit bigger. Yeah, a little bit. You actually get a new clip or E-clip. The other one, the one was free in there. The other one is actually in its proper wrapper. So I don't know whether he had to use the E-clip for something and just put it in the bag. I don't even know where this came. I think this came with a whole load of belts and stuff that I bought ages ago. So yeah, let's take this off. This will need a bit of a grease as well because we're getting noise. I think it's that gets noisy. That all needs cleaning. So I've got idler here. So that's this bigger tyre. Looks about right. I think off the top of my head, the thing that makes the noise is this. Yeah, you can see those belts are just not good. So I'm going to want to clean that, but I'm just going to put that on for now. So that is that belt, I think. So that's cool. Just can't remember the crafty way of doing this. How you get this off. There's a way to do it so you don't have to take everything apart, but yeah, I will have a look at that now. Okay, so I was thinking of a crafty way to actually do this, but ideally I do want to take this apart anyway because these are noisy. So I'm going to lift the, well, I say lift the ring, I'm going to slacken off the ring. And I seem to remember I have to load this slightly, or at least turn this around so I can pass it, get it past here. Or mind you, I could just take that off, can't I? So let's do that. It's ages since I've done a full belt kit on a C6, I've just realised. I think this can just slide. When it slides out, yeah, just so I can move it over. So the screw here, which you can't see because of all the metal, you just slacken it off and you can slide this whole assembly out of the way, so you can then lift this, and I should get that out of the way, be able to just maneuver this a bit. So I want to clean all of this. Where am I going wrong? Because that's trying to push back. It's just really this side I need. Oh, there we go. I'm trying to bash a head chip if we can help it. Clean all around there as well. Let's take the top gear off. That's a locking gear. Locks into the base. And clean all of this, which would be really nice, to be fair. And then this comes off. And one belt. I'm sort of a bit intrigued to see how this ends up. I mean, that's running beautifully now. A bit tempted just to put a bit more. On there. And then need that little gear. I don't know, it's all a bit weird to me. Yeah, because I remember a workaround for when these idlers go a bit bad is to rough this up and then put a flat belt around these so it's got lots of friction. Yeah, that was its way of making it relatively reliable for a short while. I seem to remember having to do it on one machine because they just wanted to transfer some beta onto VHS back in the day. I'm trying to get this back on and in the right place. That's the end of the travel. Adjust this out. These two screws, I don't think there's a third. I've not snapped them off enough. Yeah, there we go. Let's get that back in. And then put this back. Give it a bit of tension. You don't want it too tight because it's like I've done that too tight. A bit too loose. Basically you want it to freely move. But not So cleanly rotate, but not have too much sideways movement. And there is actually a flat blade adjustment, which you can't see, of course, to really tension this up, but I'm happy just pressing that. Let's give this all a bit of a clean. So next is the pinch roller. So to try and remember how this goes, so the angle of it, screwdriver goes either side of those two metal bits, so as long as I get it somewhere near there. If you get it wrong, there's a good chance that it won't properly press against the capstan and you'll get tape slip. So try and be fairly careful because this plastic is starting to get brittle at this age. There we go. But that pinch roller is not great. So yeah, I'm going to give that a clean and put it back together, and we'll take the upper drum off next. Okay, so that's a lot better. Here's the old favourite rubber renew. I still have mixed feelings about rubber renew. It does seem incredibly good in some situations, like pinch rollers. It seems to just bring them back better than anything, really. I know there's a Dremel trick, which Noel uses, and I really must have a go with that because it looks really, really good. Actually, it's a great solution. But these older types, it just seems that this sort of older type of pinch roller just seems to be the best way to get them working well. Do a bit more this way. I reckon that's pretty perfect. So put this back together. It's actually looking all pretty good. I'm happy with that. That is tight enough. I'm not actually. I think there needs to be a bit. Seems okay. Haven't undone this screw, so it's not shifting much, which I think is the intention of the screwdriver sort of adjustment there. So you sort of have it fairly tight, and you can keep its alignment better as you sort of adjust it. You can always adjust it in the end. Using the wrong screw. That's clever. And then put this back. And the counter belt is not great, but it's not bad. doesn't do much, doesn't have much torque. At the end of the day, if it did fail, you're just losing the counter. The machine will still work, and the counter itself is actually quite mucky. Let's give that a bit of a clean. Super. Okay, so I'll take this off next. Yes. Oh gosh, that was tight. Slacking it off a bit first. I need to take the fan off. Oh gosh. If I can get that in there, get some more leverage behind it. Means dropping the bottom board. Might have to just do that. That's actually undoing the nut. No, that's got it. Yeah, so I've cleaned the heads using the old paper method. It's cleaning this. Unfortunately, I had the camera pointed in the complete wrong direction. Yeah, as we're a little bit in a rush. Gosh, wow. It's quite grubby. I didn't re-record it. The capstan seems fine. That's good. Everyone's favourite. I'm going to use Q-tip or cotton wool bud. Just on the ace head. Never ever ever get these anywhere near the video heads. It will always end bad. Getting the dust off as well. On the ace head assembly, it's fine. Oh, there is a bit of muck on the capstan. Looking pretty good. Just clean that sensor arm again. So what's that? It's feeling pretty good. Let's put just the tiniest amount of grease there as well. I love the sound these machines make. When they're in use, they just sound amazing. I just love the clunkiness of them. Yeah, it's a sound I miss, actually. I've not had a C6 for ages. And when I had that Mark II in, it was just so nice to hear the sound again. These seem more clunky than the Mark II, I seem to remember. Or maybe I was just unlucky. So, front loading mechanism, what I'm going to do is just clean off the grease that I can see, and re-grease it. I'll use the silicone again. So yeah, I'll get and do that now. Okay, so it's all done. I haven't cleaned off every single speck of grease, but it's pretty much all cleaned up. Yeah, I've not bothered putting grease back on the teeth, because it's just like, well, why do that? But I have got some. I mean, I've been a bit over the top, so a bit will get on the teeth just for the sheer fun of it. But all the moving bits are greased. Let's put that up around there as well, and inside as well. So yeah, I'm happy with that. So let's get this back on. Right, so have a tidy up and we'll give it a test. Okay, so this will be fun because we've done an awful lot of work and haven't tried it at any point, so it's sort of like, hopefully we'll be alright. Like I said, don't have a huge amount of time before I need to get this video out for Christmas, so yeah, it's nothing like working to pressure. I was actually hoping to do the final part to the MV-V8000 for Joel, but I've had one or two little issues, nothing major, but it just wasn't going to happen before Christmas. So Joel, that's to come. So what is interesting is this has pat testing pass sticker on it and a totally pat test fail plug, so I will change that. But anyway, hey ho, it is what it is. There we go. So far so good. Oh, that's so smooth. Yeah, it's labouring a little bit. Oh, well, not really. I sort of wonder if I might have got a tiny bit of grease on the tyre, but it's absolutely fine. So, what's it play like? Well, yeah, we're going to have to do a little bit of alignment on the servo, because it's running at the wrong speed. So we've got heads, I think it's just the heads running at the wrong speed, to be honest. So if I pause it, yeah, it's the heads running just maybe a little bit fast. So yeah, that's fine. So get and do that, and then we should be good to go. So there we have it. Working really, really well. Incredibly pleased with it. I do have a confession. I did the head hunting, the speed that was going all over the place. That was actually down to those 3 red tantalum capacitors that I changed. They were actually 0.68 microfarad, and the originals were 0.47, and I thought I might get away with it, but I didn't. It's actually really critical that they're 0.47, and I have run out of those. I actually ran out while I was recapping this. There's Sanyos. So what I've done is I've actually put in parallel some 0.22 microfarad capacitors. So I'm getting sort of 0.44, which is not far off, but I've ordered some 0.47, so they're in there for now. I mean, it's actually really very good, but I do have a tracking error sort of in the middle there. I'm not going to worry about that until I've changed those capacitors, because it really does make a huge difference, it seems. So, but otherwise, you know, tracking furthest left, centre, tracking, oh, centre's actually not bad. Tracking furthest right, it's really good. I mean, the heads on this are perfect. Obviously, with all the rubbers done as well, really, really good. So, really pleased with this. So it's just going to 4 o'clock on Christmas Eve, so hopefully this will be out at some point on Christmas Day. I hope you enjoy it, Xavier, as well. It's a really lovely machine, so once I've done those last few bits, it'll be on its way back to you. So yeah, it just remains me to say thank you very much for the support over 2023 and before that as well, of course. But it's been a great year. We've got lots more to come as well. And that Panasonic MV V8000 is on the way, Joel. We are nearly there with it, but yeah, I've hit a slight issue, which I will resolve in the next couple of days, no doubt. But with that, have a fantastic Christmas and a very happy New Year to you as well. And I will hopefully see you in another video. Bye for now.